World War II. About Hitler. Hitler was surprisingly not born in Germany. He was born in Austria. He failed in being an artist, and the teacher told him that it would be better for him to be a constructor. Hitler went to Germany, and he fell in love with the country, so he left the field of architects and read German books all day. But Hitler was sad because he had no friends or family in Germany. Then World War I breaks out. He went in the military and had a wonderful time with his fellow members. Even when Germany lost in World War I, he worked in the military, and this is when he started to like war. 1919, he took a message that would change his future. The start of World War II. The message was to listen to what the German Workers' Party said in the underground shop. The German Workers' Party said only negative things about Germany, and Hitler could not wait listening. Hitler started a speech in front of all the people, and he went in the president election. Before that, he also changed the German Workers' Party into a big Nazi. Hitler tried to make war too earlier, and he made the coup d'etat and got caught. The speech he made while in court spread in the news and made him second in the president election. At the time, a big event that would make Hitler be the person that would occur. The event was the Great Depression in U.S. Hitler's main weapon was his speech. Hitler shouted that leadership was necessary with his speech, his main weapon, and he ran for the president election in a head-to-head match with a war hero in the World War I. Conservative right-wing politicians thought they would try to take advantage of Hitler's popularity a little, but the person who especially tried to take advantage of it was Franz von Papen, who was ousted from the post of challenger of the Weimar Republic. The start of The person who unexpectedly tackled this plan was Hindenburg, the president of the Weimar Republic. But because of Papen's request, Hitler was able to become the prime minister. At this time, Hitler added conservative right-wing politicians to pass one law, and this was the authorization law that later became the beginning of World War II. The enabling law was that challenger Hitler could make any law it will. German right-wing politicians surprisingly even lent their strength to pass this terrifying law, and eventually Hitler began to rule as a dictatorship. At this time, Hitler creates a superpowered office that combines the president and the challenger, and this is the future. Like Google Translator is so bad. World War II. Hitler first occupied Austria with the cheers of the people of Austria, and then invaded Czechoslovakia. It was an act of breaking the Treaty of Versailles. Britain and other Allied powers thought that even they were victors, the war damage was great, and that they will wage such a war again without going crazy. And yes, Hitler was crazy. But rather, Hitler is more excited that they don't bother and starts making fighters and tanks. Then they make a plan which name is the Lebensraum in native. Lebensraum means a place to live in German. And it literally meant that the Germanic people will rule the whole Europe to live. The Allies could not stand it when Hitler continued to eat land in Europe so easily. So the Munich negotiations are made to tell Germany to stop. But again, Germany broke its promise and invaded Czechoslovakia in 6 months. The incident gave Munich negotiations the name of the worst kind of fraudulent negotiations. Then Hitler wants to invade Poland. However, after they plan to invade Poland, they are afraid that the Soviets intervene again. The Soviets will interfere with the fight against France later. So he signed a non-aggression pact with Stalin of the Soviet Union. What were France and England doing then? Because they did not want to join hands with the communist Soviet Union, the Soviet Union and Hitler ended up in the same side. Hitler passed through Ardennes Forest where France had no invincible line of defense, the Maginot Line, and surrounded France from front to back. At that time, all British troops were there, and this time a miracle happened and all British ships came to rescue the soldiers. This is a miracle on the Dunkirk coast. World War II. Hitler misses the opportunity to capture the British army and invade Soviet Union. So Hitler breaks the pact and goes all the way to Moscow. Ukraine was also invaded, and from then on, the biggest war of World War II, the Stalingrad War, took place. As for how terrible the war was, German soldiers died every 7 seconds, and Soviet soldiers had guns even in the age of 7. If an ally or enemy dies in front of you, grab the gun and use it again. The German army was suddenly ringing, but now on the Allies' massive counterattack begins. The Soviet Union counterattacks with a new developed tank at 34. So General Paulus surrenders to the Soviet Union and Western Europe begins the largest ambitious operation in history, the Normandy landing operation. The Allies spread false information and crushed German forces in France. The elite officers doubt Hitler's ability and attempt a betrayal. Shocked from the betrayal, Hitler gives orders that cross the line. It is a plan to destroy all citizens and buildings in Paris. But soldier corps who received the order refuse and surrender. Hitler fights the final battle, the Battle of Bulge, but loses again. In addition, news arrives that all 1.6 million Soviet troops are on the way to Berlin. Unlike other Allied powers, the Soviets were more dangerous because they advanced by destroying all civilians and buildings. Upon hearing that Soviets had occupied Berlin, Hitler married his lover the next day and committed suicide in a underground bunker. World War II ended up after Japan lost the Pacific War. because of World War II. After the end of the World War I, a new country, the Weimar Republic, was formed by Friedrich Ebert. The peace negotiations of World War II had to be concluded, but the four highest officials of each allied country came. Woodrow Wilson, President of the U.S., Prime Minister of Italy, Vittorio Emanuele Orlando, Prime Minister of Great Britain, David Lloyd George, Prime Minister of France, Georges Clemenceau. They get together and have a meeting. France, to avenge Germany's disgrace, meets in the same room on January 18th, when France surrendered to Prussia in the Hall of Mirrors. The U.S. didn't punish it too hard because it took almost no damage. And the French wanted to reward it very hard because they had huge war losses. English was just at medium. The Treaty of Versailles was like this. Recognize Poland's independence. Poland was to be given the territory of West Prussia and Posen, and France was to be given Alsace-Lorraine. The Eupen-Malmedy region had to be given to Belgium. Each region became independent, and all colonies had to be laid down. And some of the coal had to be given to France, and Germany and Austria were forbidden to unite. In addition, the Air Force must be eliminated. The total number of ships must be 18. The total number of military personnel must be 10,000, and some districts prohibit military use. And an astronomical amount of 132 billion marks were paid as war reparations. So the citizens of the Weimar Republic protested against it, but the president of the Weimar Republic, Ebert, also delivered 400 objections. Angered by Germany's attitude, the French prime minister threatened, saying that if words are not enough, cannons will deal with them. In the end, he writes a document that I agreed to unconditionally in the mirror room again. In the end, the Treaty of Versailles left too much ill feeling in the people of Germany. Eventually, the original copy of the Treaty of Versailles was loved by someone